morning everybody. Welcome back to another video. I decided I'm gonna do a reading vlog this week. Today is actually my first day with my new job. Super nervous. I'm just gonna give you just like a quick intro and then I gotta get to work, but I wanted to do an intro this morning because I am very nervous. I have my setup here. Got my little water, coffee, a smoothie, because that's the only thing that I can manage to eat at this time. It's my little wall art to, I guess, boost my confidence. And then I've got my coworker right down there. So very nervous, but we're gonna do great. It's gonna be good. It's a big change, big career change, but I think it's gonna be a good thing. So we will see how today goes. I just have to remember that it's just gonna be a lot of meetings introducing me to people and the company, and they don't expect me to know everything, so it's gonna be okay. But I will let you go, and then I will, when I come back after work, I will talk about what I am currently reading. Apologies if my hair is like extra frizzy in this video. It's very hot and humid in my apartment because the air is out. But let's try this again. Hello everybody. It is not Monday evening like I said it was gonna be when I said I was gonna update you next. It is actually Tuesday evening. Monday it's not that I had a bad first day. It's that I let the goblins, the demons, the parasites up in here get the better of me. I was having a fine first day, lots of meetings, lots and lots of meetings. I've never been in so many meetings. That is something that I'm gonna have to get used to with this new job, is that there just are going to be a lot of meetings, and that's not something that I've ever had to deal with before. Like when I was at the lab, I had occasional meetings, but it was a lot of just quietly sitting at my desk and doing the work, I guess, and then people came up to me when they had questions. But like, you know, between the nature of this being a completely remote job, on top of this is a consulting job, on top of this is my second day, and so of course I'm in a whole training program, there's going to be a lot of meetings. But I think my biggest thing was I was getting a bit overwhelmed by the scope of everything. Yes, I've been studying, but there was just so many things that suddenly I needed to do for onboarding, and on top of like I just had meetings all day long, so there wasn't really time for me to do it. I've since been reassured that it's not a big deal, and that they expect us to kind of they just gave us kind of the general timeline as a general timeline, and that they want us to really prioritize the training program that I'm in. I'm with a lot of college students, not a lot, there's like 8 of us and then the 2 instructors, I think. 6 are fresh grads, and then there's me, and then there's one other that's also a career changer. Me and him are career changers, but like already our group is great. I really am enjoying them, having a lot of just a good time with them, and I think our instructors are going to be really great too. I already really like them. I have my one mentor who is already like a friend of mine, had a meeting with him today, so that was great, and then had a meeting with my other mentor, who is super sweet, and I really think I'm gonna love her. I'm very excited that she, I know, did you decide to join too? She just finished eating. I didn't realize she was right in the camera. I know, sweet girl. I know, hello. You've been so good. You have been such a nice, just a good little coworker. What happened was, I was told in an email like over a month ago that I was supposed to be closer to my start date getting another email with the like invitation to get signed up in their, basically the payroll and tax information, and like basically the documents saying like confirming I am who I say I am, that kind of a thing. I was told that I was supposed to get that closer to my start date, and never got it, and I've been keeping an eye on my email, but like not like looking out for this particular email, just, you know, keeping up on it, checking to make sure I don't have anything that comes in that's important. So didn't recognize that, oh, I never got this email. And then we had an onboarding meeting, which is different than our training. And they're like, yeah, you should already have this done. And if you don't have it done, you need to, the second we get off this call, do this, because it takes several days, because the documentation needs to go through, that kind of a thing. And I was like, I didn't do it, and I like looked everywhere, and I was getting very upset because I just wanted to start off on the right foot, and I was upset because I thought I had everything in line, and I, you know, really try to stay on top of everything. It's like an important thing to me that I stay on top of everything, stay ahead if I can on things. So the fact that my first day I was already like behind and didn't have this information, didn't have this email, and then they said that they resent it and I still never got it, and so then I was just like, they're gonna fire me on my first day because I can't get this documentation in, and I look so incompetent because this is a tech company and I can't even find like a simple email. Turns out, like, I don't know what happened, but I got the email this morning. They sent it to me late last night, after I'd emailed them like a third time saying I still don't have it. By the time I finally logged off, my mom convinced me to just turn off my computer, and it was like 6 o'clock at night. I logged on this morning, turns out they had sent it like 6:30 at night. So I got that all figured out, and we're better now, but I was very distressed yesterday, and just feeling like I'd already made a mess of things, but we're good. Today was better. I'm still very nervous and still just, I don't know, feeling like I can do it, but feeling like I have imposter syndrome, and that I don't really know what I'm doing. And it's only day 2 and we've barely even touched on the things. We've gotten very just high level overviews of consulting and what the Salesforce program can do. Okay, that video cut out because I was just told my memory card was full, so I just had to clear that out a little bit. I don't remember what I was saying. It doesn't matter. Things are getting better. I just need to remember to stay confident, listen to my worries, but put aside what I can't control right now and focus on what I can control and be gentle with myself and know that I am a smart individual and can do this and can learn, and I'm specifically in a program that the company has designed for people like me. And I just need to remind myself that, and that this is from you know, my friend that is in the actual like business unit that I'm in, that helped refer me in. We've also got another friend that's part of the company, and both of them really like it. Today we're better, still stressed, but we're better. And so now I am going to tell you what I've been reading after I've just babbled on for however long that was. I am still reading Assassin's Quest by Robin Hobb. If you saw my May wrap up, you'll have seen that I was halfway through. I am since about, I guess 2/3 of the way through. 2/3 of the way through. It's 850 pages. I have about 300 pages left. It's about 300 pages. So that is what we were working on. I don't know if this might just be the only book that I'll be reading this vlog. I don't know. We'll maybe pick up an audiobook. We'll see. But this is the book that I am mainly focusing on. I'm still really enjoying it. I do think like the second one out of like the second book out of the trilogy is my favorite. Again, I still have 300 pages left, so like, you know, jury is still out, but at this point the second book is still my favorite. This is not bad though. Like that's not to say that this is bad. It's just, let me start over. I didn't even tell you what this book is about. So Assassin's Quest by Robin Hobb is the third book in the Farseer trilogy. So Robin Hobb has what is called the Realm of the Otherlands. It is like, I think 4 or 5 trilogies and then one like quartet, so one series of 4 that are all different series like by themselves, but they're all together in this same universe, and some of them, like, you'll start following characters from previous series. I know our main character in this book, Fitz, as well as another character, the Fool, end up being the main characters in at least one other series, the Fitz and the Fool trilogy, if not another one. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, in this one, so this is the first one, the first series. If you're gonna read The Realm of the Elderlings, this is the one to start with. The Farseer trilogy, we are following Fitz Farseer. He is the bastard son of the King in Waiting. We follow in book 1 from when Fitz is 6 years old through this book. He is probably in like early 20s, somewhere around there. It starts to get a little gray area on how old he is, but he is still quite young. But we are following him from 6 to that 20-ish years of age. And he is basically, from an early age, it's decided that he is going to be trained as the king's assassin. And this is to basically keep him useful to the royal family, because otherwise, as a bastard, he's basically expendable. He causes, like, kind of him being a bastard muddles the royal line, and so there's no real reason for him. But they decide, the king decides to take pity on him and basically make him his assassin so that he stays relevant. But the story, this series is like a way wider scope than that. Like, the first book starts out where he's basically being trained as an assassin, but that's not really the main point of even the first book. It's really, we're following Fitz as a character and just learning about this kingdom from his perspective as a child, and then getting older and kind of being used as a tool of this royal family, and a tool of the kingdom, whether he wants to be or not, and then kind of how he's forming relationships with these other people, within the royal family, within kind of the noble houses, or just within the Buckkeep Castle and Bucktown, kind of the town that the castle is centered in general. And it's just, yeah, like I said, a very character-focused story, very relationship-focused, and I really, really am enjoying this, and I'm definitely going to be continuing Robin Hobb's books. I don't know how quickly I'll pick up the next trilogy after this. However, I've got so many books that I own already that I should be picking up, but I'm really enjoying her writing and just this world. And I know that the next series, the Live Ship Trader series, just follows completely different characters, but I've heard a lot of people seem to think seem to say that that's their favorite one, so we will see. But yeah, this one, if you watched my previous video, I may wrap up when I talked about just kind of discussing my thoughts on it halfway through. This is obviously a quest novel. This is called Assassin's Quest. It is centered around just a quest of Fitz's, and with that comes a lot of traveling, and I am not a huge fan of books where the majority of the story is a character traveling. I just find it a little boring, and while I am still very engaged with this because I am very invested in this story and these characters, so it's probably a good thing that this long travel sequence happened in this third and final book, because now I am already so invested. It's not my favorite thing. However, we have reached a point where some of my favorite characters, or at least one of my favorite characters, has now come back into the story. So that is just kind of an added, it's a good, oh no, two of my favorite characters. I just forgot that she also came back. Anyway, it's a good addition and like change of pace of the story to kind of bring these favorite characters back in. But yeah, overall I am enjoying this. My plan tonight, it is just after 4:30. I need to walk Toast. And then I need to pick up a couple of groceries. Mom, if you're seeing this, I know you offered to pick up groceries on Sunday. I did not realize how low I was on things. I thought I still had a couple days left. I mean, it is Tuesday, but anyway, I'm really babbling in this update. I need to go do that. I have yet to decide if I want to do my yoga tonight. Because like I said, my air conditioning is out. It has been out for 2 months now. Not that I needed air conditioning in April, but like in April my heat went out, and early April I could have used the heat. That's a whole story. It never got fixed. There was like people that were supposed to come to give quotes, and then nothing happened. And now it's June, beginning of June, and the air does not work. So I will have, somebody is coming tomorrow to inspect it and hopefully fix it. We'll see. But somebody is coming tomorrow, but it is hot in my apartment. Like, it's stuffy, it's uncomfortable. I usually have a fan going. I don't have it right now because it's loud. But it's uncomfortable. So I don't know if I will do my yoga. And normally I have the door open, like my sliding glass door to my porch, but it's hot outside, so it like doesn't make sense anymore to have that open. It almost makes more sense to keep it closed up in here. It's really, you're trying to decide which is worse. Is outside worse or is inside worse? And I don't know at this point. But yeah, I don't know. I think the biggest thing though, obviously, I need to walk the little lady, and then pick up those groceries, eat dinner, yoga is TBD, and read this. But we'll see what else is going to happen. This has been a ridiculously long update, and I apologize for that. I just had a lot to talk about. But I'm going to stop babbling now, and I'm going to go walk the dog. It is Wednesday. I've been doing a really bad job about updating you guys like in the mornings. I've been getting up and like moving around and getting ready and everything at like a really good time. I just kind of have not been updating you for some reason, but it is Wednesday afternoon, evening, I guess. It's a little after 5 o'clock. And today was another good day. First of all, the air conditioning has been fixed. The HVAC guy came, and I was in the middle of a meeting, so I wasn't able to kind of go out and see what the problem was with the air conditioner, but it seemed like it was a pretty quick fix because he seemed to be in and out pretty fast. So hoping that it was just something like really easy. Maybe it was something that I was doing. I don't think so, because I know how to turn my air conditioner on, but it might have been something like the Freon was low. I'm not sure. So that is fixed. Thank goodness. I'm a little warm right now because Toast and I just came in from a walk and it's pretty warm outside. But the air is working now, and that is amazing. It is much more comfortable in this apartment now. In terms of work went well. I feel like I already talked to you about what kind of the plan is for this week in general, or kind of the running theme for the first week is just having a few onboarding meetings in terms of like benefits and things like that. And then a lot of the training has been kind of an overview of consulting as a whole and the consulting process and kind of the life cycle of a project and who is on a project in terms of like roles. And then there's also been a lot of soft skill training, kind of talking about getting us used to like the tools that we have available to us for presenting and kind of how we how it's very different kind of working remotely, but a lot of like the soft skills involved in being part of a consulting team. So that's been the theme. Are you like directly behind me? You are. There's, I don't know if you can, yeah, you can see her. She's like directly behind me. Hi dear. I kind of like this update spot because then you guys get to see Toasty as well. But that's kind of an update of work. Again, today went well, which is good. When I get migraines, a lot of times I don't get them a lot. They're very few and far between. But I got like an aura visual migraine and when I get them, it's like this weird strip in my vision and I can't see through this strip. So I was in the middle of a meeting and it was happening. And of course, it was one of those meetings where I had to really interact a lot and I had to either, type up a little thing and then, read it and everything. And I'm like, hoping that I'm like reading things properly because part of the screen is covered by this weird strip and I didn't want to like move my head weirdly because I didn't want people to think I was a weirdo, but like I couldn't see for part of it and I didn't want to turn my camera off because they're really focused on having your camera on, which I really like. I think it keeps me more engaged and it makes me feel a little bit better. It's a little easier to kind of read the vibe of the call at the time. But yeah, I was having a really hard time for like a solid hour and then finally it went away. Maybe not a whole hour. It was like close. It was like 45 minutes of like it just kind of slow, like it starts out kind of like small and then it like was growing and it doesn't cover my entire vision. Like I can see things, but it's this weird like strip that like everything is very, very, very blurred in this strip. And the colors get a little bit brighter too. It's not the brighter colors is not super noticeable until it goes away, and then you kind of notice things have went back to normal saturation. But yeah, it's really weird and it was really annoying. I was really hoping that I wasn't gonna get like a headache migraine, and so far, like I can kind of feel a headache. Like it's almost gonna start, but so far, knock on wood, it's not the case, and it was me, it's okay. But so far so good, which is good because I'm going out to dinner with a friend of mine. We're gonna go to grab some food, just hang out, catch up, and I don't really think we're doing anything outside of that. We're going to a Pizza by the Slice place that we both really like. And then in terms of reading updates, I really have not gotten that much further in Assassin's Quest. I almost said Assassin's Apprentice. This is the third book, Sarah. Assassin's Quest. I haven't, thank you. I really haven't gotten that much further. So I feel like this vlog is gonna be much more of like a life update vlog than a reading vlog, but we're gonna do what we can, okay? I do want to make a comment. Something that I noticed is while, this is like the third book in the trilogy, so obviously it's like the climactic ending to this trilogy. What's really interesting as well, and I guess you normally see this in, a lot of other fantasy books as well, but it feels more apparent in this one because the first two books, the magic side of it, there's like magic in these books. And the magic is always present, but it feels a bit more subtle, if that makes sense. And in this book, it feels like we're also reaching a climactic point of the magic. And like I said, I know that happens in a lot of other fantasy series, but it feels more apparent in this one, which is kind of interesting. And I think that's because the magic has been kind of a little more subtle in the earlier books. But that is my update here in terms of the book, and I just wanted to give you this update about how my day went. But I'm gonna go finish kind of getting ready and then head to dinner. Hello, friends. I have done a horrible job updating you. It is actually Saturday evening today at about 5:45, and Yeah, I apologize. I guess the main reason why I haven't really updated is because I haven't really had any reading updates. I am this far the way through Assassin's Quest. I have about 150 pages left. I'm on page 700, so this is about 150 pages left. And I don't really have any more thoughts to update you on. I am still really enjoying it. There's a lot more tension happening. Like I'm very nervous for how the rest of this is gonna play out. And what's really interesting is there are so many conflicts and so many like pieces of the plot left that still haven't been resolved, that like I kind of thought that at least one of them like the reason why the quest is happening, I thought that that was gonna at least be solved by now, because that is kind of a key piece in order to solve the other two main plot points. And since that isn't even solved and it's been 700 pages, I don't know if we're gonna get these other two main plot points that I've been like, how are we gonna fix this, solved, you know? So I don't know if we're gonna get like a conclusive ending to those parts, which is gonna be really interesting. And like I can see where easily that's gonna just lead into the next like trilogy that brings these characters back. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Again, I have got about 150 pages left. I definitely am going to be reading this evening, and obviously tomorrow. I feel like I should easily be able to finish that this weekend. I feel like I just haven't been spending as much time reading this whole week as I normally do, not because of my new job, but because there's just been like random things popping up in the evenings that I either didn't expect or I didn't expect them to take up as much time as they did. Not that that is a bad thing. They've been really great, fun things. They haven't been bad things that have been happening. Like, I think when I last updated you on Wednesday, I went to dinner with a friend, and we had spent like a couple hours at dinner. And then Thursday, I had gotten on a Discord call with my brother, and we had played some Magic together, so that was fun. Yesterday, I did not go to draft. Usually Friday I go to like the local game store has like a draft night. I did not do that. It was pre-release for Modern Horizons 3, which is the new set, and with the Modern Horizons sets, the cards are, like, the set itself is just a much high-powered set, because it's meant to supplement like a specific format, and so because of that they are more expensive. The packs are more expensive. So pre-release was like $70, and me and my friend were like, first of all, we don't want to pay that price. Second of all, his dad was coming in yesterday evening, so we didn't do that. And then today, the reason why I'm updating you so late is that me and my friend Nathaniel, that usually do the Friday Night Magic together, we went to another of our friends' birthdays today, and he was hosting basically an all-day Magic Gathering event. We ended up not doing initially what was planned. He had all of the pre-constructed commander decks. He's a big collector. He's been collecting for years and years, but he's also got an online store where he sells a lot of the cards and things, but he had been collecting all of the pre-constructed decks because he likes to host events like this. And so initially he wanted a tournament where we all get assigned a random deck, and we have never seen it before, and we just play with it. But there wasn't enough people for that, so we just played a couple other formats. There's something called a cube. Basically, somebody curates a stock of cards for people to then draft and play with. So we played with his cube, and then we played this format that was new to all of us. He had recently gotten in, I think he had bought out somebody's like giant collection or whatever, and he had basically pilfered through, got what he wanted. That's my understanding. Because then he had like 60,000 cards left over. Like, these stacks were ridiculous. I'm not exaggerating. He's like, I legitimately think there's 60,000 cards in these stacks, and I don't, they're all useless. Like, he's like, I got my money's worth out of the cards that I wanted and what I paid for this, because it sounds like the person was just trying to get rid of their stock, like their stuff, and they're all really, really old cards, and they're all common and uncommon, and because of how the game has evolved over the years, these really old, low-powered cards are now even like more low-powered, and basically like, he's like, they're not worth any money, and they're like, there's no point to them. So we played what was called an Iron Man, where basically we took probably about 1,000 of those cards, just threw them on a table, like just in piles, just no organization at all, and all 8 of us stood around the table, and we had 40 minutes to basically pilfer through all of the piles and build our deck. So everybody was seeing all of the cards and basically just pawing through this like giant mass of cards, and they're all low-powered, really crappy cards. And then what you do is, it was a best of one, so you play it as tournament format, and so when you play a card, or when like a creature dies, it goes into what's called a graveyard, and a lot of times you can like bring those back or whatever, and when you're done with the game, obviously you don't rip up your cards, but what he said was, if a card goes into your graveyard, you literally rip the card in half. That card is no longer part of the game, and it's no longer in your deck after this game. And so then you're left with just like a partial deck, and whoever wins then takes the loser's deck and absorbs it into their own. So it was really wild, but it was a really kind of fun format, because all these decks, like everything was just really low powered, really crappy, and it just got kind of like jankier as the tournament went on, because all of the good cards, like, you already used a bunch of cards, so you're basically just collecting everybody's leftovers and piecing together what you can. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. So I'm back now. Little lady and me had just gotten back from a walk before I started updating you. So my plan for the rest of the evening, like I said, it's about 5:55 now. I've been updating you for about 10 minutes. My plan for the rest of the evening is to eat dinner at some point. I'm not really hungry quite yet. Normally I eat by now, but I'm not really hungry, so we'll see. I'll eat dinner at some point, but otherwise I just plan to hang out and read, and we'll see how much further I get in this. That is my plan. I didn't update you on how the rest of my week went for work. Officially done with the first week at my new job. Still feel that imposter syndrome, still feel like I'm kind of a fish out of water. But I don't know if I mentioned, I really like my group a lot, even though the majority of them are quite a bit younger than me. Not that I'm like old, like I'm only 29, but like, I've been out of college for about 7 years now, whereas there's only the one other person who has been out of college longer than me. The rest of them are college grads. And then I really like the trainers a lot, and like it's a very structured training. Like, it feels almost like I'm back in school. Like, there's just a lot of lecture-like meetings, and then assignments that we have to do, things like that. And obviously it's only the first week. We haven't really delved into like the software side of it. Just done a lot of like, let's lay some not ground rules, but like groundwork for the soft skills of consulting, and make sure that everybody's on the same page with this kind of a thing. But yeah, I think it has went well. I don't think I'm gonna really have confidence until I pass the admin exam and then like start getting into actual project work and recognizing that I can do this. They hired me because they think I can do this, and then obviously the training is supposed to help me with that. I don't know, just questioning my abilities and things like that, but I can do it. It's gonna be okay. First week is down. We made it. They haven't gotten rid of me yet, so good signs. But yeah, I'm looking forward to next week. We're gonna actually really start delving into the like actually starting to get into the software side of it. I actually am going to be talking about you guys next week. On Monday first we have just like mock presentations and then mock facilitations. Basically they know that we can all do a presentation. Like me and the one person who are career changers have had to do presentations at previous jobs. The other 5 actually had to do a presentation as part of their hiring process is what it sounds like, but they basically want to make sure that we're comfortable with the virtual side of it, you know, sharing our screens, and then using the specific slide templates that the company has provided and developed. They basically just want us to toy around with that, toy around with using Google Meet and the kind of presenting aspect of that, since it is, you know, it is different to present virtually than it is in person. And then with the facilitation, they basically just want us to get used to the facilitation tools that are available in Google Meets, like running a poll, doing the breakout rooms, using the whiteboard, things like that. They basically just want us to play around with those and have us get like familiarize ourselves with it before we're like in a client meeting and having to fumble around with them. And so we were basically told, like, just pick whatever you want. Like, they kind of gave like a general guidance of pick a hobby that you like and tell us about it. So for the presentation, I'm talking about BookTube, just BookTube in general, and then how I got into it. And then for the facilitation, I am talking about book recommendations, having kind of, you know, a poll, just a simple poll. Do you like to read for fun? Bringing out the whiteboard, asking people to add their favorite genres of either books or movies, and then, you know, an open discussion of what makes a compelling story. And then I have slides with several genres, and I'm going to give some very, very brief book recommendations. Like, basically list the book, list a very brief reason as to why I'm recommending it for, like, somebody who's new to reading, and then asking for other people to chime in with recommendations. So yeah, I get to talk about you guys and talk about one of my favorite topics, which is reading. So very exciting. But I am really babbling a lot. This is kind of a long update. I apologize. I had a lot to update you on, and I didn't quite realize that. Again, I apologize that this has been kind of a weird vlog where there really hasn't been much like book discussion. It's been a lot of discussion of my new job, but I want to tell you guys about it, and because it is, you know, obviously a big portion of my life now, because I'm gonna be, you know, doing it for, you know, at least 40 hours a week, and it's a big life change for me, and I'm very nervous, but I'm really excited about it. Like, it's a good mix of nerves and excitement, and they're both felt very strongly, I would say. But yeah, and then, so yeah, I apologize that a lot of this has been more of a life update vlog than a reading vlog, but hopefully you guys are cool with that. But I'm gonna stop babbling because I realize I've been babbling for quite a bit this update, and I am gonna wait for a while, eventually eat dinner, and then read. Good morning. Good very late morning. It's about 11:30. I slept in, and then I did actually just spend the morning reading and managed to finish Assassin's Quest by Robin Hobb. I really liked this. It's a solid 4.5 stars. If it wasn't so slow for the first half, like, it was still enjoyable the first half. I still really enjoyed it, but by the time we got to the halfway part, I was like starting to struggle a little bit. But if it wasn't for that, this would be a 5-star. I think that this was a really great ending to this trilogy. I stand corrected by my comment earlier. All 3 of, like, I guess the big plot conflicts or like goals did get resolved in the end of this book, which I was kind of surprised about, but it worked out. Like, it made sense. It did feel a little fast, but the way that Hobb writes this whole trilogy, it fit really well. Like, it just made sense. Because it's all, I guess this isn't really a spoiler, like, it's all strictly from Fitz's perspective, and Fitz obviously can't be everywhere at once, so he doesn't see the complete end to things. A lot of things that he sees are, or a lot of the information he gets is kind of from a distance. But I think it ended really well, and it made me tear up at times. Like, I was, it got a bit emotional, and I am sad to say goodbye to these characters for now. Even if I continue with Realm of the Elderlings, I do know that the Live Ship Trader trilogy is the next one in kind of the order that you're supposed to read these books in, and it follows a completely different set of characters. So I am sad to say goodbye to them for a while, but I do think at least Fitz and the Fool come back in later trilogies. So I am looking forward to kind of adventuring with them again. I don't know when I'm going to pick up the Live Ship Trader trilogy. I don't have the first book yet. I'll probably get it at some point, and then, I mean, obviously I will get it at some point, because I 100% plan to continue Hobb's Realm of the Elderlings. I just don't know when I'm going to pick it up next. And I don't know what I'm going to pick up next. I haven't decided. I definitely want something that's not fantasy. I'm kind of leaning towards either a general or literary fiction book or a horror book, and I haven't decided yet, so we will see. I am going to close this vlog out here. Obviously it's only 11:30, and I do have some plans for the rest of the day, but I think I'm going to close the vlog out here. I think for the rest of the day I have to run a quick errand just to pick up a couple of things, and then I plan to edit this video and hopefully have it completely ready for posting when it goes up on Tuesday. That way I don't have to worry about it Monday or Tuesday evening. And then just a couple other little things that I need to tidy up. I need to clean. I think dishes and vacuum are my main prerogative for cleaning. I'm just tidying up the kitchen and then just vacuuming the whole apartment. Those are my 2 main goals for cleaning. But yeah, that is the plan for the rest of the day. I haven't decided. It's really nice out today, so depending on kind of what time I get done with all the other things that I want to get done today, me and the little lady who is now all sprawled out, might go to the PARK. I'm not sure. Kind of depends on how busy it looks and what time it is by the time I get done with everything else. But yeah, thank you so much for kind of hanging out with me during this week. Again, I am sorry that it got a little sporadic there in terms of updates at the end, and the fact that there really wasn't much like reading updates. This was definitely more of a life vlog, so thank you for bearing with me there. But again, I did really enjoy Assassin's Quest, and I do highly recommend this trilogy if you like more character focused and character driven fantasies and you don't mind a kind of slower, almost meandering plot. This series does really pay off with its characters for sure. But yeah, I'm gonna head out. So again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you consider sticking around and subscribing if you haven't already. But as always, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!